Hi, I'm Wisu. Today I'll be talking about a piece from Genshin that you might not ever hear again. It's one of the background tracks in Fischl's domain from the summer event that happened a few weeks ago. I actually never finished the event, but I like the music, so today I'll briefly talk about some interesting things about this song. First, let's talk about the style. Well, it's clearly inspired by Baroque music, which, if you've been living under a rock, was a style of Western classical music that was popular in Europe about 300 to 400 years ago. Bach, Handel, Vivaldi, these are some of the big names from this era. The piano wasn't invented back then, but the harpsichord existed, which is what you're hearing in the background. Back then, if you were a musician, you were also an improviser. You would learn to read figured bass, which is basically old-fashioned chord charts, and you would improvise over these chords. This is a really interesting topic, but I won't get into it today. To make their performance sound fancier, musicians would add decorative notes called ornaments. One type of ornament is this squiggly line, a mordent. This symbol tells us to quickly play that note, the note above it, and then the original note, like this. It's not worth notating the extra two notes because they're just like little pieces of glitter. If you don't add the glitter, well, the music is still the same, just a little less sparkly. Often the performer would add mordents wherever they saw fit. In this piece, there are several mordents notated where you should play them. I've also taken the editorial liberty to notate this piece in a very Baroque style, meaning the score has no dynamics and it's quite sparse with the articulation. This is how Bach would have written, say, one of his inventions. Bach expected the people playing his music to know the stylistic conventions of the time, so he didn't need to notate them. For example, eighth notes are sometimes played detached, and the last note of slurs are also often detached. The notes are not written detached in the music, but the performer would automatically play it this way. However, there are a couple of giveaways that this is not actually a genuine Baroque piece. First, this piece breaks the rules of counterpoint in a few places. Counterpoint is basically a set of rules that say you should keep musical lines independent. This piece has some parallel octaves, where both hands play notes that are an octave apart at the same time. This makes the two lines not independent and would be considered bad music writing. Another thing that's maybe not bad but isn't Baroque style is these dotted eighth note rhythms. This rhythm, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2, is a pop music rhythm. It's just not common in Baroque music. So it's interesting to see how this piece represents Fischl. She's obsessed with old European-style fantasy, and she uses all these German names. Bach was, of course, one of the most famous German composers. But this song also has modern influences as well, which probably caters to all of us who are playing the game today. Lastly, I'll play through the piece for you. You can find the score at the link below, and feel free to check out my other scores as well. They're not just transcriptions. With all my scores, I also play the role of editor and engraver. So I provide helpful fingerings for beginners learning the piece, and I render high-quality professional scores that are clean, look nice, and easy to play from. Currently, I have scores for a lot of Genshin pieces that are manageable for beginner and intermediate pianists. Someday I'll make videos for them, but for now, here's Fischl's domain theme.